Hello everybody, and welcome back to another FurySky Reviews by Chasm. Today, I am going to be reviewing the new Modern Warfare weapon that has been put into Modern Warfare and Warzone. It is a pistol, and it is called a Sykov, and its main catch is that the last barrel can make it fully automatic, which sounds pretty overpowered, at least in theory. So, is this weapon really as overpowered as it would seem to be at first glance? Oh, and did I mention, you can equip the full auto and the akimbo at the same time. Similar to how, when the Renetti and Diamante were overpowered, you could have akimbo and burst at the same time, which is what made them so overpowered. So, if you look at the stats, I'll put them up on the screen. They will be courtesy of True Game Data. These are for the single fire. So as you can see, single fire ones, they do a lot of damage, especially to the head. However, I tried them out, and while they aren't necessarily bad, the single fire ones seem to have a rather slow fire rate. And if you put them akimbo, it doesn't seem to work very well. It doesn't seem to be as good of a choice as I guess the closest gun to it would probably be the Renettis. Plus it doesn't really have a magazine between the 20 round and the 80 round. So I wouldn't really recommend it for single fire. If you want to single fire akimbos, I would go for the M19s or the Renettis. The X16s are pretty good in multiplayer. But I think the M19s and the Renettis would be best options for Warzone. Now let's get on to what everybody wants to actually see. The full auto version of the gun. Now it does less damage, especially to the head, but it more than makes up for it with its fire rate. It has an 800 RPM fire rate, and that's a single full auto. So if you're hip firing two of them, that's going to give you around about a 1600 RPM. Now, already, you're probably saying, this is probably going to break Warzone at close range. And you would be right, because, especially if you're hitting someone in the chest, its time to kill is around 235 milliseconds. I'll see if I can find a graph courtesy of True Game Data. But yeah, so its time to kill is around 235 milliseconds, which is just insane. It's less than the AS Val's TTK, and it's not just less; it's less by 200 milliseconds. So if you're going up against an FFAR or an AS Val, you're gonna have 200 milliseconds, where 200 milliseconds, where you can just sit and not fire before using your akimbos. Now obviously that only applies if you hit all your shots, but within 5 meters you're gonna hit probably like 80-90% of your shots, maybe within 4 meters, and then beyond that you're probably gonna hit like 75% until like 10 meters, and then the gun's not really that good anymore. And especially not good beyond that because of the recoil. The gun kicks quite hard. It goes up. Most guns that hip fire in this game, they don't really have recoil when you're hip firing. No. This weapon goes up. It goes boom. So you're gonna have to pull down a lot. I'll take that into consideration for the setups I'm going to show you. Okay, now on to the best setups. There are a couple different good setups for this gun. The best one, I think, is the one that includes the monolithic suppressor, the full auto barrel, the 80 round drum mags, the 5 milliwatt laser, and akimbo. That combination is going to give you massive damage output while having near infinite ammo, basically, while also being suppressed. So you can wipe teams close range without ever having to reload. I think this is the overall best build of the gun. Even though it has a lot of recoil, it's just really insane. Okay, now onto the second one. This is the exact same build, except with a compensator instead of the monolithic suppressor. This reduces the recoil by around 25%, I believe, 27%, somewhere around there. So that is going to be that if you are not good at controlling recoil, especially while hip firing, it's going to be very important in making sure these weapons are still as overpowered for you as for everyone else. Okay, now onto the third and final setup. This is the setup that I would run single fire akimbo for, monolithic suppressor, lightweight trigger, 20 round mags, akimbo, and 5 milliwatt laser. I don't really know why you would run these, but if you want to, then you obviously can run them single fire. But I think that is going to be it for this video. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. We really appreciate it. But that's going to be it for this video. Hope everyone has an amazing day. Peace.